Hey, Courtney Smith here, and I want to talk about the Swiss cheese model of trading profits. Now, this is very deep. A British psychologist by the name of James Reason recently published a study where he talked about how to overcome failures of systems. Okay? So there are systems all around us, computer systems, telephone systems. COVID is a system if we want to try to conquer it, and so on and so forth. So how do we make sure that these systems, if they fail, we don't fail? And of course, trading is a system as well. So what he did is he actually wrote this study originally about 30 years ago to discuss failures in complex systems, and he was targeting nuclear power, commercial aviation, and medical care. So those are all very important systems and very complicated. In trading, I think that there are two models of trading, the heroic and the systematic. The heroic is all about the individual against the market. It's where an individual or group study the market, come up with a trade, and hopefully make a lot of money. Examples of the heroic model would be Warren Buffett and Marty Schwartz. I've only met Warren Buffett, never really spoke to him at all. But I worked with Marty Schwartz, maybe the greatest trader of all time, for 18 months, sat right next to him. Both gentlemen found an analytical formula that worked for them, and they executed it flawlessly. Buffett has made billions, and Marty Schwartz has made, I would estimate, over $100 million easily. They are basically lone wolves, and both spend a ton of time working at their craft. Now, the systematic model finds a technique, back tests it over a long time, and if it's profitable in the back test, trades it going forward. A good example of that would be John Henry. He's the owner of the Boston Red Sox, the Boston Globe, and the Liverpool football team, which just won the English Premier League championship. But he owns lots of other things as well. But his fortune was made creating a trend-following system in futures trading. So he basically created a mechanical model, and then he executed it flawlessly. In both the heroic and systematic models is a flaw. What if they break down? And they always break down. For example, I'm a big fan of the channel break. Well, actually, let me go back. Marty Schwartz had losing trades, and he had losing weeks. So that meant that his system breaks down. Warren Buffett has bought companies that went bankrupt. His company, Berkshire Hathaway, the original Berkshire Hathaway, went bankrupt. So his original investment in Berkshire Hathaway was a bad trade, okay? So heroes make mistakes, systems make a mistake. I'm going to dive into systems a little bit more detail here. I'm a big fan of the channel breakout system, which we teach in our stock success school. We also teach it, which teaches you how to trade stocks, and also in our how to crush the futures and Forex model, which is about futures trading. Now, this is a simple, systematic model that has been proven to be profitable for decades, really back into the 1960s. But sometimes market conditions are simply the perfect storm that causes the system to lose money. I remember vividly 4 months back in from June to October of 2011 where all I did was lose money in the stock market using channel breakout. It was just like every trade was a loser. I would buy every high and sell every low. And I did that for 4 months. Not a pretty picture. Okay? And so there was an example of where the system channel breakout broke down. It didn't make money. Now, it made money the first 6 months of the year and October to December. So the year was very profitable. But for 4 months, the system broke. Okay, so now we have a hole in our Swiss cheese. You got it? That's why it's called the Swiss cheese model. The cheese should be solid all the way through because that means we'd be profitable. But every so often you get that hole in the Swiss cheese, and that's a losing segment. Now, most of the time, the cheese is solid and the system makes money. But sometimes a hole develops and we lose money. Well, that's okay, because if we keep going deeper into the cheese, the hole ends and we're back to solid cheese. So small losses, but we then get back to the solid ground of the Swiss cheese. But there's a way to overcome the holes in the Swiss cheese. And that is what James Reason's report is all about. Click the link. I'm going to give you down in the thing underneath here. You can look at this and you'll see a link to James Reason's report. So check it out. Read it. What you do to eliminate the holes in the Swiss cheese is to create other systems that run on very different patterns to offset the first hole. So for example, channel breakout tends to look at the market from a 3-month time horizon. So having another technique that looks at the market from a 3-day perspective will have very little correlation. That means that it may be making money or filling in the hole when the channel breakout is losing money. That makes the hole smaller, and if the second system is really good, it may make the hole non-existent. We just have solid cheese. Another non-correlated system, which is very important, would be strict risk management. Now, risk management won't fill in the holes, but it'll make the holes smaller. And once again, that's a big step in the right direction. The Swiss cheese model can be used for all systems. For example, COVID. The best way to defeat a virus is to do several things, not one. So use a mask and have a vaccine is far better than either one alone. Vaccines don't always work. Masks don't always work. But if I have both of them, they probably work. So that's what I mean about having multiple systems so there's no hole in the system. All systems are enhanced when you build in multiple forms of success to dramatically reduce the chances that the system fails. The Swiss cheese model is a central tenet of my own personal trading. I tend to subscribe to the systematic model. Then I don't have to be heroic. I just have to execute flawlessly. So that's not bad. But it is the application of the Swiss cheese model that keeps my trading holes small and not often. And that creates a nice equity curve and reduced mental stress. If you want to learn more about that, go down to to our little post below this video and check out all the links. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.